goes another 20-year-old.
Holy shit, I hate those guys.
Gotta hate 20-year-olds.
Fuck those guys.
Somebody help these 20-year-olds.
It's time to figure it out, Ricky.
Touch me.
Don't touch me. Don't fucking touch me. Ma'am? Ma'am. Hi, ma'am. Please, ma'am. Ma'am. Ma'am, what happened? Ma'am?
There was a
No, ma'am. Listen, ma'am. Yeah. We're on Too Many Jams, ma'am.
show about all things ma'am.
Mammy-year-old. 20-year-old.
With help of friends, experts, and our own personal experiences, we hope to shed some light on those things that leave our age group lost and confused.
Yeah, that was just a preview to Rob helping me film a commercial audition last week.
Yep.
Basically, okay, so yeah, we're on Too Many Jams. We basically took a bit of a week off. You know, I know you guys were like, "What? Where was it last week?" We got so many messages.
All of you were. Yeah, it was crazy the amount of response we had.
Everyone was like, "What? Like this is I need this podcast." So
can't believe you guys skipped a week.
I know.
So we apologize.
Mm-hmm. And we'll get into that. Obviously, there was we record and release on Tuesdays, and last Tuesday there was some
There's some stuff going on.
Some stuff going on, which we'll get into. But yeah, so I have blonde hair.
We've not done an episode since you have blonde hair.
No, I have. I have blonde hair, and I did it in quarantine because nothing else is going on. Something I've been wanting to do for a while. But a big reason why I haven't gone blonde before that is because I still do some commercial auditions.
Yeah.
And like the character I get cast for is like regular guy, you know,
Not
normal person.
Surf bro.
Yeah, right. So, you know, if you change up your hair, it's a bit of a commitment. You got to like reshoot a headshot and like you go for different roles. Not nothing crazy, but I thought studios were closed and stuff. But my agent reaches out to me and they send this rollover that I have to do like a home self tape to audition for. And I was like, like she calls me. I'm like, yeah, it's like bit of a look update. I was like, I shaved my head. And she goes, oh, okay. It's like completely shaved. I was like, yeah, like it's grown in about a month and a half. Like it's a fluff. She's like, oh, okay. I was like, and it's blonde. And she's like, oh. I'm like, yeah. I was like, you still think I should go for this role? And she's like, let me look into it. Send over a picture. Like they're a little rattled.
Were they?
Not like they weren't like, they were just clearly like, all right, like send over a little selfie. Look into the role. Luckily, the role was to play like an EMT.
Yeah.
In like a made for TV movie, just like a one scene kind of thing. And I Googled EMTs and they're freaks. So I'm just kidding. No, but like a lot of EMTs have like tattoos and like it's like there's no dress code. It's like if you want to be an EMT, they're not like whoa.
Yeah, like
easy
check
on
these
the
boxes.
Piercings, tattoos. It's they're like, you don't mind like rolling up to some gnarly shit? Come on in. Yeah. So Robbie was the other person reading because you know, like when you do a self tape, you put a camera on you know, the actor, you know, the thespian, you know, the talent, as they say. And you really want to choose someone to read with who sucks,
who won't steal the spotlight
so that
from
they
you.
don't get cast.
Yeah.
No, I'm kidding. No, you want to choose someone that like can read with you, so it's not like fucking awkward. Like they have to be able to do it. So Robbie helped me read, and we were making fun of it because it was like there was tons of ma'ams. It was like really ma'am heavy script.
It was ma'am. It was too much ma'am.
Kind of ma'am central. So
yeah,
you know, anytime we try to get each other's attentions now, it's a lot of ma'ams.
Ma'am, hi, ma'am,
hi, over
please.
here, ma'am, please, hi, ma'am. But yeah, we're on Too Many Jams. We're back. It's 30 fucking degrees in our house.
Did you check downstairs?
I didn't check, but
Yeah.
I have
you just know.
I have a thermometer in my wiener. So we're having ice cold beers to cool down.
True history.
We haven't actually had True History in a while. And if you guys are listening, that was kind of like us being like, you know what, quarantine, don't send us free booze. I know you guys like were running out of some stock at one point, but now that we're like deep into quarantine, I'm sure you guys have time to re-up. You know, maybe we get True History back on the pod. We were just letting you guys do you, but you know, we're thirsty too.
Yeah.
We even bought some to support the boys.
Always.
And it was really good. What flavor did I buy? Oh, it was called Can You Hear Me Now? Like not blowing smoke up my friends' butts for no reason.
Yeah.
It's delicious.
Yeah.
Like I loved it.
It's good stuff.
But I would also love to get the regular stuff in because Can You Hear Me Now was not a tall boy, and I am a tall boy. And I like tall boys.
Tall boys for tall boys.
Yes, I'm a long man.
Yeah.
That's another way, to say tall boy.
You know what to say about long men.
Tiny peepees.
Tiny wieners.
Yeah,
Yes.
they do say that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so let's get some True History back on the pod. Also, like, Wrist and Rye, the jewelry company, has just been like dormant. Weirdly got an influx of orders when Serb started rolling out early
Really,
quarantine. I think
everyone's like, oh,
people were kind of bored.
support local.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. But yeah, we're back at it. We're on the show. And with we will touch on kind of what happened last week with our decision to not do an episode on, it was called Blackout Tuesday.
Yeah.
It's because we're not responsible enough. I would already have made the joke, let's get blackout. You know what I mean? Like I would have just said everything bad, and the whole message was like, this is not a day for like white people to throw out like their shit. And the podcast is just literally, what is a group of white dudes called?
Yeah, that joke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's called a podcast.
Yeah.
We're white. We're from Canada. We're very selfish, and we don't really have our ear to the floor on these issues. So sometimes it's better to just bow out, kind of like get a beat on what's going on. And I admitted last week, I really actually didn't even know what someone had to tell me that protests were going on.
Yeah.
In Toronto. I didn't even notice.
Yeah.
I obviously know about the issues in the States, but I didn't know it was erupting. And then the Black Square thing, like that's when I was like, whoa, like what's going on? And then I started seeing like protest news, like riots, and like I was like, oh, whoa. And then people were like, don't post today. And then some people were like, don't post a Black Square. If you don't post it, you're bad. Or if you do, you're bad. Or if like there was like so much shit, and I was like, I don't fucking know. So I
know it felt like by the end of the day, sort of the conclusion was on the Black Square that it didn't really. I know people were like, "Oh, this is kind of pointless." But
can you explain how it started?
Yeah, it was
what the movement, like not like the whole movement, just the Black Square.
Yeah, well, it was originally like a move by Black artists to like in the music industry.
Oh.
For artists to like post like
instead of like promoting their albums and like shit like that.
Yeah, exactly. Just to be like, okay, I recognize and sort of support what's going on. But then I think it was like I don't know, it just sort of took on a life of its own.
Yeah.
And started like it became more of like a symbol of like the whole movement.
Yeah.
And everyone started posting it. So I don't know. I think people were a little
I was just taken by storm. I was just like, I just didn't understand what to do. So because Robbie and I are one unit, we decided to split the difference. Robbie posted it and I didn't, and we were going to see who was the bad person. You know what I mean? But we so far no backlash either way.
Yeah.
No, sometimes, man, like if you want to know, like, I know we have a platform, and I know some people like we're posting like some pretty aggressive stuff. Like, if you just sit there and you let this go by, like you're the problem and you're racist and we're not friends anymore. And like, as much as like that was directed directly at people like me,
yeah,
I also don't mind not being friends with those people. Like it was kind of a two-way street. Like,
well, that was kind of the. I mean, you're not really one to get that active and political on social media platforms, and I think that was kind of the sentiment that like a lot of people realized at the end of the day. They're like, oh, they're like, why are we just getting people to post something and be like,
it would be meaningless coming from me.
Yeah,
but
it was somewhat meaningless. Yeah.
So yeah, like there was that, and what was the other? I was gonna make another fucking point to on that. I appreciated the solidarity of it. I did appreciate that. Everyone was showing up and you know, like really being like, yeah, we're with this. We're with.
Yeah.
And I do really like that. But I also have like just deep entrenched like right wing thoughts from like my upbringing.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm not political, and I can't. I just leave. Like, just you don't need me to put this black square. Let me like figure out what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
And I did research it. So at the very least, it did get people like me to look into it.
Yeah, and you listened to a podcast on the way home from the college this past weekend. You were saying that on Joe Rogan he had a person from the left wing and a person from right wing sort of debate the whole issue.
Well, okay, this is also so I'll tell you my initial thoughts and I'll wash it down with where I'm at now. Just so like I believe in dialogue. I don't believe that someone's fucking a bad person just for being right wing or like, because they're only the way they are because the way they were brought up. I'm only the way I am because my family's conservative. I went to a private school where like like my whole upbringing is relatively conservative, but I'm young, so I have the liberal, want to help everyone kind of mindset mixed in there, and so do a lot of my friends. So like right off the bat, my original reactions are, I respect the movement. I do know that all this stuff is happening. I do know that disproportionately, like it's facts that disproportionately the poor class is black, and disproportionately the crime is black, and disproportionately police are profiling and aggressive to black people. But as with the mindset I have, I'm always skeptical, and I always believe that these narratives serve someone because they're getting put out through media, and they're getting put out. And in my opinion, like up until the riots, I've always believed that like the white liberal left wing in the States is like the main people pushing out the narrative that it's a black white thing, it's a Mexican white thing, and they're splitting everyone into groups when my whole belief is it's actually a class issue, that it's really a distraction from the bigger issue, which is the poorer class in the United States is fucked, and they have such a rough system looking after them. And yes, disproportionately black, but I thought it was kind of uniform, and that the media was trying to push forward this narrative to get some sort of benefit for the left. And it's like a weird thought, but I never say that publicly, and I never post about it. I know the podcast is public, and I'm only saying it to kind of shed light on how some people just like have private opinions, and it doesn't make me a bad person. I'm not.
No,
I'm
absolutely not.
Like I'm not like, I would never act on or get people to change their minds based on that, because I understand the bias in my upbringing and stuff like that. So
I think you've got more of like a questioning, logical sort of mentality yourself. Like just by nature, you're very like you have to fully research things. It like everything you see or hear, it's not like you just believe it immediately.
Yeah.
And whether it's this issue or any other issue, it's like you yourself feel like you need to sort of dive into the material for yourself, read up on it, and then make your own educated decision.
And like fucking all these people posting on social media telling me to think a certain way is like the last way to change me. And exactly. I think that's part of the problem. Is I'm looking at it like, if you really want change, you have to convince. I'm already I don't have skin in the game. I you know what I mean? Like, if you really want to make change, you have to convince people like me, but more importantly, you have to convince people that are actually bigoted or even more ignorant than myself that just are just Republican and like fuck all this, like that are more ignorant and stuff like that. So I think it's important to take a few angles other than if you're against me, you're fuck you and like I hate you.
Yeah.
And so like I took that into it, and I was like getting honestly a little bit angry at the rioting and the looting and the burning. And I was like, oh, like you're taking away from this movement. Like protesting, it works. Social media works. I was like, oh, like if you're looting and protesting, you're gonna cause like the same equal and opposite reaction push from the right. Like your president is a brash right-wing leader. Like if you do stuff brash, like he called in the fucking military, and I guarantee you there's going to be a resurgence of people in the states that go fuck this movement, because the majority of the states is not black. The majority of the states are conservative whites.
Yeah.
I think only like 20-30% of the states is black. So like I'm looking at all this and I'm like, this is counterproductive. I love the camaraderie of it. I love the original message. Like I think everyone agrees that it's disgusting what happened to George Floyd. And the most disgusting part is they would have got away with it if people didn't uprise.
Yeah, yeah.
And the guy has gotten away with stuff previously, and cops in general, black or white, get away with some pretty gross stuff in the States. So I was trying to look at it. I was like trying to find the motives. I was like, who's pushing this narrative? Who's this? Like, who's like, why are people trying to divide us once again when the solution is, as much as there is racism in the US and in the systems and stuff like that, a unified lower class will do better than white poor versus black poor versus Mexican. So I was like trying to find the core of it, and a lot of debates between us in the household, a lot of debates talking to our roommate, Kevin, who again, Kevin he's a great guy to talk to, because like me, he's very reasonable. He can have debates and chats, but he was raised liberal, liberal household. And so he very much is the same as me, just with a little bit of upbringing. So we can kind of like dance around the center. And he was saying, no, the rioting is hopelessness. It's like, it's nihilism. It's like fuck this whole thing, because it's like their only anecdotes are mistreatment by the police and a system that's let them down. And they're not thinking about, like he was explaining it to me, and I was getting a good argument from that, but I still was dancing around the core of it, which is, yes, all this stuff has happened. Yes, it's all true. But the real issue in the States is a corporate run government. Like I had this whole thing. It's like the government is just distracting you. They're trying to keep people divided because the corporate influences have control of the government. I think that's no one's even fucking disagreeing with that. Like the US government is a corporation. The politicians are just hand in hand with the corporations, and the more divided the voting class is, the more they can slide shit through. And the fact that only a percentage of the US, a tiny percentage even vote, shows that it's working for the corporate. The corporate dictates laws, because corporate lobbying can squash the voting power when the voting power is divided.
I remember when at the beginning of the pandemic, when I was watching like a CNN or just like a Trump was addressing the country,
Mm-hmm.
and he was talking about how sort of like they're implementing systems for testing and like bailouts and like just how they're allocating money and figuring out the whole situation. And he was standing up there, and then he was introducing all of these guys that had stepped up, and it was like, okay, the Walmart guy, the Walgreens guy, like all like,
other things with wall in the
like
title.
like think of all big US companies, and he just had them all up on the platform, being like, okay, now it's your turn to speak. And he's like, okay, yeah, we've offered this, like we're gonna help out here and do this and everything, right?
Yeah, man. Like, so that's like, and I'm just saying all this to preface that I don't know, and that's why I just kind of backed off because I had all these feelings.
Mm-hmm.
And I explained to Kevin that I just thought, that if I had, because I do have black people in my life that I care about, and if I had them in the room, because I care about them like I care about any friend, and if I were to give them advice outside of the macro issue that's going on, I would say, like the system is fucked. Yes, if protests and all this shit and voting and bringing awareness is everything right, but if you really want to improve your situation, like, I never felt like the blame game works for anyone, even if the blame is real. Do you know what I mean? Like, even when like someone breaks up with you or like something bad happens to you, like the health issues or whatever that's happened to me, a guy physically punched me in the face and and made my life worse, right?
Yeah.
I haven't once thought about that guy.
Yeah.
Because he's not a factor in my life.
Mm-hmm.
He caused it all. It's his fault. I'm a victim in a sense of jumping or of a violent attack.
Well, if you look at the United States, they've got, as a whole, like, they've got a very heavy culture of doing that. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like if you look at, like, oh, you slipped and fell here, like, who's to blame?
Who's to blame? Yeah,
that's very much part of their culture.
And I do think it's important, and I do think it's important, especially when the people to blame are the people in power. So I'm not saying taking away from that, but I'm saying on an individual case by case basis, my best recourse and the advice that I followed was, the only thing I can do now is better my situation. If you get dumped, and the only thing you can do is make yourself a better person, and not everyone has an even playing field. So life's not fair for the person who's born with a disability. Life's not fair for the majority of the world that's born outside the US that doesn't even have the right to protest and the right to, you know what I mean? So like, if you look at things relatively like that, you can always find someone worse off than you. You can always find someone better off than you in the States, especially if you're in a disadvantaged group. And the only problem with all these words I'm saying is I'm not a member of the community. So I would look for people in that community saying these things, and those are the people I want to support. And I was just like, explain that to Kevin. Like, I would tell the individual that the playing field is not level. True. You are a victim. True. There are powers against you, but also, believe it or not, against all the rest of the poor in the States. And it's an entire class that's abandoned. And you can drive through third world white USA as well. And the more we make things about race, the more divided it is. And Kevin was bringing up some good counter arguments that the issue's got to be snuffed now. Black people are profiled now. And it's like, that's got to be, so whatever the order of events is, I don't know. And that's why I'm not a political activist. But I do believe that the individual working on themselves first is the best way to like bring about change, because especially if you're an individual that's underclassed in the US, if you get yourself to a good point, you have a harder go than everyone else. Yeah. But you bring your family up, you bring yourself up, you're in a better place to advocate. You're in a better place to show people a path. You're in a better place to get a cause going. And there are people I see on social media in the black community that are saying these things. Tons. And those are the people that, I give my like to, I give my comment to on social media. And I like that message. But at the end of the day, I reel all that in and go, but what the fuck do I know? Right?
Yeah.
That's what the fuck do I know? So I listened to a podcast, Joe Rogan. It's one of his most recent episodes, and it's Joe Rogan number 1485, Crystal, and I think his name is Sagar, Saagar, but Joe Rogan 1485. Kristen and Sagar are a left-wing and a right-wing political member in the States. belonging to the Republican, the Democrats, working the press corps for the Republican, working for MSNBC for the Democrat. And they had a 3-hour dialogue with Joe, who, similar to me, is just a dummy who is kind of comical about his stance and like, but is at the end of the day doesn't have skin on either side. Like, just wants to know where the right answer is. And it was amazing. It would be a lot nicer to recommend it if they were a member of the African American community, because they're all, I'm pretty sure, white.
Yeah.
So it's like, again, it's more like political people talking about the issue, not from the ground level. But it was really good.
But those are the people who
have the power.
and are going to make the decisions, right? So
it was nice to hear their opinions, because just listen to it. If it could bring together, I was in the car with Kevin and his girlfriend.
Yeah.
His girlfriend was very distraught by all the protests and really affected by, and really wanting to convince people to take action and like legitimately was like empathetic towards the cause in the U.S. and wherever it is, because there's riots all over the world. And we listened to the podcast, the three of us on the drive home. It was a 2-hour drive. And we were all just like, yeah, 100%. Because they had the left and right covered. And the answers were in the middle. And it was really cool to listen to. And they agreed. Their biggest thing that the left and the right person agreed on is that it's really an issue with corporate influence and a divided voter base. And that it's been a tactic since the Cold War, apparently, to divide people based on race.
And what is the benefit of people dividing?
Okay, picture this.
Or just corporations dividing people based on race.
It's not like there's some puppet master at the top.
Yeah.
It's not a big conspiracy, but it's media. It's just more of a reflection of human nature. Like, media needs a story. They need buzz.
Yeah.
Political platforms need a villain to run against. And after the Cold War and communism and after, like, back in the day, like the villains really were the conservatives, because they were religious, they were oppressive, they were racist. And after that villain got squashed, it's been, or at least, I don't know, fully squashed, but you know what I'm saying? Like, after that villain got kind of conquered politically and the state started moving towards a progressive kind of like liberal mindset to some degree, the victim became these racists, these Nazis, these radical right wings, and that became the narrative. And to give you an example of how it splits the voter group, in Canada, for example, you have one conservative party, you have NDP, and you have Liberal. Because the left wing of Canada, if you're more left, you go NDP, and if you're mid-left, you go Liberal. A lot of times the Liberal base is divided and can't fight the 50% of the population that is like, well, I'm not Liberal, I'm not NDP, so I must be conservative. So a split voter base, in this case where there's one right wing and two left wing,
yeah,
it splits the left of the country in a lot. And you see how, like, then you have people that are choosing between two lefts. If you want to actually push a liberal agenda, so splitting the voter base based on race, when it comes to bills, then it becomes the poor isn't looking at the government going, well, we're all kind of fucked thanks to you. They go, no, I'm fucked because I'm black. And then I'm fucked because I'm Hispanic, or I'm fucked because of this. And the victim is, or the reasons are because of racism, and it's us versus them. And we need to, like, as much as change can still happen when a whole group of one race comes together, the real issue is a disadvantaged underclass in the States, and that's disproportionately black, and that's why you see disproportionate, like, they are absolutely, everything they're saying is true. Like, their anecdotes are true, is all I'm saying. The reason they're rioting is true. Like, everything is real. But the reason they're feeling it may not be as black and white, no pun intended, as it maybe used to be 20 years ago, or when actual systemic racism like really existed. The real thing we should do though is stop talking about this,
Yeah.
because I'll put a disclaimer there. I don't know. I don't fucking know.
Yeah.
I just thought that Joe Rogan thing was good, and I thought
Yeah.
it's important to show you what just a normal person who actually legitimately in their heart is not racist, is not sexist, thinks about it. That it's important to know that these people are out there and they're not bad people. They want the right answer. It's hard to find.
Last thing I want to touch on before we end this
Yeah.
is I saw that the Minneapolis City Council is now voting on whether they're going to defund the police or not. It's like, they've made enough of a stir on sort of like their agenda, and they're going to be voting on it now. And I'm just curious what that's gonna look like.
It's because that's the main on the website of Black Lives Matter movement.
Yeah.
And the thing is, the truth of the matter is, I don't know.
I don't know either. I'm curious because
I have an opinion like everyone else, but I don't know. And my whole thought always is that these are surface level issues. Defund the police seems surface level. If the police are the problem, there's a more complex issue behind it, because the police are the front line of the government. The police are the acting arm of the government. So it's probably 10 layers deep. Police are undertrained. You only need a high school diploma. You only need some ludicrously light amount of training. And they talk about all this in the Joe Rogan episode.
Do they? Yeah.
Defund the police and give more money to the black community sounds good in your
Well,
heart.
I don't think it's the black community
I think that's what Black Lives...
targeting.
I think that's
like,
what Black Lives Matter is. I'm not sure.
Well, yeah, but
the-
like, no, like they want to reallocate the funds to sort of community specific programs. And,
Okay.
like,
Whether it's-
if there's, say, like there's a domestic dispute across the street, that instead of a policeman going, like a white policeman going over there and sort of over like abusing his powers, like they have someone more geared towards that, like that kind of situation that gets sent over.
Yeah, no, and you know what it could just be? It could just be a simplification of a more complex ask that Black Lives Matter is asking for. In my mind, I would definitely agree that the police are doing too many jobs. There's no money for domestic mental health, dealing with, like, the police deal with the most broken mental health people.
Yeah.
The criminals, domestic disputes, everything. They are the only front line.
Everything.
And
then you look at their, like you said, their
you
training.
look at their training, it's nothing.
And it's more geared towards like kind of diffusing like criminal activity. Like,
and you know what I saw J. Cole say, which I thought was great?
What?
He was like, he goes, there's amazing people that are police officers.
Yeah.
He's like, there's definitely amazing people that are police officers, but a good cop is a really hard thing to say, because it's almost impossible to ask those people within the parameters that they're given and the job that they're doing and the training that they're given to be a good cop. Do you know what I mean? Like, they're not given the tools. Even if they're good people, they're not given the tools. And for sure, everything that they're saying is right. There's definitely cops that are racist, the same way there's definitely fucking priests that are racist. There's definitely individuals that are outside the norm, but even the good people that we're talking about that are defended, people are saying, oh, there's good cops. I think everyone agrees that the police system in general is not working in the favor of those good people. They can't do the job. The training isn't there. The judicial system judging the police is way too internal to actually have justice. And no doubt that up to a point, if you're a cop and your job is that hard, you'd want some protection, because you're gonna fuck up if you're doing that many jobs and you're undertrained and everyone looks fucking dangerous to you, and like your job is that scary and hard. you're gonna fuck up, and your only safety net is an old boy society looking out for your back, which shows how fucked up it is, and that it overall needs to happen. But just generally defunding the police, I would want a more complex answer in my mind if I were to ask for it.
Yeah, I mean, well, they're voting on it, and I'm just I was just bringing it up because I'm curious. Well, yeah, because they made enough of a noise that they're like it's going to the city council now, and I'm just curious to see what that looks like.
There's as the riots will show, there's too many opportunists that would take advantage of a lack of a police force. I don't think the community would regulate itself. I think police are needed, and just defunding. If that also meant restructuring, like retraining, maybe not defunding just the police in general, but changing the funding to active officers, and maybe allocating money to mental health officers and domestic, or adding in community programs where the police are more involved with the communities they police. Because that's really, the end of the day, the issue. The police are driving in from good areas, suburban areas, and going into communities where they don't live. They don't have relationships with. Yeah,
and they don't really know.
And they use the full force available to them. It's a complex issue. And simplistic solutions, I find, although they sound trendy, I just wish that there was a movement around just the more like, hey, like maybe let's ban. I don't know. It's so tough, man. All I want is for their situations to get better.
Yeah.
And I think that's the only thing that most good people can agree on. People got a shit hand, and you want their lives to be better.
Yeah, totally. I think everyone can agree on that.
And I think that's a good way to cap it off. Listen to Joe Rogan episode if you're inclined, but definitely spend some time listening to like people like, I know it's weird to say a celebrity like J. Cole, but just like people on social media that have a really not as so simple us versus them mentality.
Yeah.
Black, white. I really think the best change from the States will come together when people start to realize that the black poor is not so different from the white poor, other than one's probably Republican and toothless, and the other's probably more in urban environments. But they're that's just statistic,
and
it's
what,
nothing to do with the
that's
actual person.
And that's been sort of the main the main point people have been pushing through all their like social media posts and advocating for these black communities is just educate yourself. Like, do your research, read up on it, and and
don't listen to guys like us.
And then you can sort of formulate your own.
Like the only thing you should take away from this is to do your research, because like I just don't know, and
I don't know the answer.
It'd be wonderful if if we had access to someone who
it's so
would come on the pod. You know why it's hot in here?
Why?
Because you're uncomfortable. Because these issues make us uncomfortable. No, it's hot because it's fucking 30 degrees outside and I don't have AC.
Yeah, it's fucking hot.
I feel like we had to talk about it though.
It had to. Yeah, for sure. What else? What else is happening?
Okay, so to put a bow on that, to move back to business as usual, what's going on in the life of a few rock stars in this time and place? A lot of good things happening recently for us with Robbie moving back home.
Yeah.
Robbie, I'm going to give him props because I do shit on Robbie a lot. Because when I'm in go mode, like normal times, I'm like, get on my level. Come at like I'm trying to I'm always like, I'm like my mom, you know what I mean? Like aggressively criticizing only out of love to try to you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I've been in the dumps in quarantine. You've been my shining light.
Hey, thanks, man.
You've honestly kept the train on the rails.
Nice. I appreciate that.
You've been keeping in touch with all the people you need to keep in touch with. You've been keeping the projects on the go. You've been really patient, extremely patient with my newfound set of interests, which before was like working out, hockey, social life,
Yeah.
and working most of my day.
Yeah.
Now my interests are
Video games.
video games,
Edible
drinking, Edible. I just have the quarantine hit me, dude, and I'm not shy about saying it. My motivations are backwards. I just don't feel all the things I used to feel, and
Yeah.
I don't think it's a bad thing either.
No. I mean, it's good to just kind of let
It's the best
your
I got
guard down.
in the current scenario.
Yeah. For the time being, but we're getting you back there.
Yeah.
I feel like the gym is a big,
Huge part of my life.
huge part of your life. That routine kind of implements a lot of
Structure, discipline.
and discipline into your life.
You know what it also is having a busy schedule is the most healthy way for me
It's
to
true.
operate. If I don't have a busy schedule, I explode.
That's what my dad always says.
Yeah. And I can't make myself busy. I can't lie to myself. I'm too like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I would just see through my own bullshit. Like, oh, I got to do this. I'm like,
Too honest.
I'm sitting here. I'm like, no, you don't. And you know, you fucking don't. You know, you don't have to do that.
Yeah.
The only things you have to do right now are the podcast, some basic music stuff, because we can't even get in the studio. We can't even fucking do anything
But soon.
And we're doing the bare minimum that we need to do to be ready for that too.
Yeah.
The only thing I can't socialize, I can't go hang with all my buddies, have like all these, I can't lie to myself. So my busy schedule has depleted to, I know I can sleep in. I know I can watch YouTube. I know I can play video games. I know I can fuck off. And then I spend 3-4 hours, 5 hours a day working on my dreams. And I know that's enough. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It keeps the boat afloat.
It just keeps the boat afloat. But you've been very good about keeping a routine, about still reaching out to people, keeping things in motion, about being like, yo, Trav, let's go work on some music. And I go, yeah, all right. Like, you know what I mean? Like, because if you didn't say that, I'd probably just stay where I was at, what I was doing.
I get too anxious, I think, when I just completely let myself go. Like, you're able to just like, be like zero or a hero.
Yeah.
And for me, like I can't.
Call me a zero.
I like
Just kidding.
no, but you know what I mean. Like, and I can't. I don't know. I just like if I drop below like a certain structure in my day to day, goings on for 1-2 days, 3 days in a row. Like I don't know. I just start to feel anxious and stressed, and it's kind of weird. I need to just sort of keep up with working out, kind of again back to work, like working on like whether it's music or like planning things, reaching out to people. I don't know. It's just that's kind of my base level.
That's why we work well together.
Yeah.
And I wanted to make a point of it, like to you and Kevin. I wanted to make a point of how I'm living right now to show you guys how much self-control goes into my regular time living.
Yeah.
It's not, I don't love to be all those things. It's all discipline. This is what I want. Like,
yeah.
I love how I'm living.
Yeah.
It's not like, I'm not like, I don't wake up. I wake up ecstatic that I'm living this way.
Really, eh?
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I love video games, man. I love YouTube. I love fucking off. I love just like working on stuff when I want to work on stuff. I have a check coming from the government. A huge motivator for me is debt and money.
Yeah.
I have a check.
Yeah.
I'm not sad. Normal times I use dissatisfaction to motivate me, and I use discipline to motivate me, because when everyone's on their grind, when life's moving, I want money. I want to be able to vacation with my friends.
Yeah.
I want to be able to play golf. I want to be able to do that thing. And when I don't have money, I feel inadequate. I need health. I need working out, because I'm interacting with people, the opposite sex, and I want to look good. I want to feel good. I want to present an image of discipline, control, and I don't not like working. I do really enjoy when I work. So even when I had a crazy amount of work to do when the tax season was wrapping up because my businesses needed their corporate tax done, I don't mind sitting and working at all.
Yeah.
So that doesn't take a lot of discipline for me to work all the time, but it definitely takes a lot of discipline for me to get up early, to do all the other things I need to do so I can work in a normal, eat right, get my fucking workout on, make sure I can still go out Friday, golf Saturday, or go to the week. Like, in order to do that, I need to get up. But with all that stuff not really going on right now, that's why I'm in La La Land. But the good news is, at least our dream is going well. Like, we, with what we have available to us, we have the music video in motion.
Yeah.
We have the album art pretty much done.
Yeah.
We went and shot like 400 photos the other day. It's looking amazing. We have a promotion company that's going to launch our song on the current plan date is July 21st. So we'll have promotion. The studio, we're already booked to get back in July. We wrote 5 or 6 new songs that we're slowly finishing, but like one at a time. We're knocking them out every couple days. We're organizing with the band to get back together. The only thing we're not really doing is like the baseline, like get some social media out, get some exposure, just keep the page alive. But again, how important is it right now in a social media climate where people are chilling and there's really a bigger social issue kind of buzzing around? Those things are going good, all things considered. Really exciting. I'm excited for it.
Yeah, I'm stoked. I'm stoked to get this song out. Like, we've just been. It feels like you know what, you hear musicians talk about this all the time about how things take forever, and they really do. And it's like you wish.
Yeah, throw a pandemic in there.
It's like you wish you could just write a song and you're like, oh, this is great. Record it, 2 days from now.
Yeah.
And then turn it all around and then have it ready to go in like whatever, like 2 months time to promote it and stuff. It never works out like that.
It's why I'm like really envious of people in other arts, because there's definitely arts that are harder than music. Like if you actually are into art, like painting sculptures or like stuff like that, or if you're into like making like movies, or but if you're like a YouTuber, they get an idea, they like go out that day, they like coordinate it,
they turn it around in a week.
And like for us, we wrote Victoria probably a year ago.
I think the first time we played it was at Night Owl before we started playing Night Owl.
Yeah, just at the acoustic, like the
country,
the
country thing, right? Like we wrote that like that afternoon, and then went and played it, the acoustic version of it.
Yeah, and we haven't released music since
June
of last year.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't know.
It's weird.
It's been good though. We found a studio that we like. It's affordable enough. It's still fucking expensive. Anyone looking to get into music, you need money. I'm sorry. You need money.
Yeah, like get some grants. Like get someone to fund you. I don't know.
Even if you can't get grants, like you have to find a career that will fund it. You have to find family or friends, or you have to bank
get
loans.
Good at producing your own stuff.
Oh, true.
You come in the box.
If you can spend like the 3, 4, 5, 6, 700 hours needed.
Yeah, start young. Start
young. Go back in time.
Instead of getting a guitar at age 12, get like a studio setup and just play around. And and maybe a guitar too, because you got to know the basics. But
or make friends with that guy or girl.
Yes, exactly.
Actually, fuck it. Yeah, don't go back in time. Literally start hard networking until you find those people, because they're very hard to find, because if they're good, they're working already. If they're good, they got a partner already or a company paying them. So you have to get like some up and comer who doesn't know they're good yet, who's looking for someone with potential to work with, and you could be that person. Otherwise, like, we're fortunate enough that we make enough money to self-fund because we can live close enough to the debt line because of our upbringings that, if we ever fuck ourselves, we can move home or, but we're really Like just to do one song, to put it in perspective for the people that want to know the nitty gritties. Let's just say about $1,000 in studio, not to mention the time it takes to write it, practice it with the band, hone it, and the cost and the time involved with that. About $1,000 in studio. It's about $600-700 to promote the song with a promoter, and you need a promoter. Unless your song is mega viral and you're like, I have all the confidence in this track, it's got to be like above and beyond. If it's just a good track, you need someone that has industry connections, and you usually have to pay for that. If you want to get on the radio, talking to some people, it can be up to $6,000 to promote it properly to radio.
Really?
There are cheaper avenues that are $100, $200, $300, but none of these are guaranteed, and they just send it to the radio, and the radio can often snub it unless the song or the story really is powerful. So so maybe take out the $6,000. You don't necessarily have to be on the radio in today's day and age. Music videos are big. If you do a budget music video, it's going to be anywhere from $500 to $1,000. And then if you're gonna do concerts and promotion, although you can sometimes pay for that with ticket sales, it's a fuckload of time to organize. It's a few $1,000s to bring it all together, and it's a bit of a gamble. But like the song Victoria that we've been working on, that we released,
We're stoked on.
and yeah, we're gonna be with the music video and all that. It's gonna cost us $2,000 or $3,000, probably $3,000 per song we release. And that's a fuckload of money for a basically free thing that we throw
For
out.
two guys that don't have any money, it's a lot of money. But
No complaints.
no complaints.
That's just the name of the game. And that's why it's funny. It's funny, but a lot of hip hop artists, you wonder how they blow up and stuff. But someone was telling me that a lot of hip hop artists that come from like rougher upbringings, they buy their success because they hustle way harder than us to like grind out the money. A lot of times, not even they say it in their songs. A lot of hip hop artists sold drugs.
Yeah, for sure.
Because they get tens of thousands of dollars.
And they can just throw it at all these companies.
Yeah, so they buy beats, they buy studio time, they buy promotion.
Yeah.
They and it takes that type of money to blow up. And they're like, I used to sell drugs, and like now I'm a rapper, and like that's like a big part of hip hop because it's fucking true.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to think of I was thinking about like Wise Beats, who's a guy who is in our friend group that makes raps and stuff.
Yeah.
The guy works at a car like auto body, like rims and tires a lot. And like when we were trying to coordinate with him a few years ago for like one of our original shows, he's like, dude, I work all the time. He just takes all that money, he throws it in the studio same way. And he also fortunately seems to come from money. I don't know if his family gives him money or not, but like same deal. Like you need fucking cash, especially in pop and hip hop.
It's so expensive.
Especially in pop and hip hop.
Yeah.
Because they're saturated. Everyone's making beats. Everyone's making pop. Everyone's a rapper. I'm a fucking rapper. What's my rap name again?
White Flame?
White Flame. It used to be White Jesus because I thought that was hilarious.
Yeah.
But I like White Flame.
White Flame. Yo, one more thing I want to talk about. So we've been playing poker the last couple weeks, and
We have poker tonight.
and we're playing
Every
tonight
Tuesday
as well.
night.
Yeah, every Tuesday, and we just with a couple of buddies from university. And last week we normally play two games, and both games I made it to to the right till the end, to the one-on-one,
Head-to-head poker,
the
one-on-one.
heads up poker. And first game I was against Trav. I was up. I had him.
I was the underdog.
Total underdog. I think I was
Antes,
like 12,000. He had
high
like
4.
50. Yeah.
And like the blinds were like 500, like 8 or 1,000. They were something wild.
It went back to Trav. He was up. I came back, and then he took me. Same thing happened the second game. Made it right till the end. Heads up against another guy. Lost again.
Poker psychology, man.
Dude, I've been hooked on heads up poker. Like the last couple of days, I downloaded the app on my phone because my buddies were like, because you need like a certain amount of chips to go into these games, and they're like, oh, just download the app. You can get free chips every like 4 hours. You get your 15,000, right? I bought some chips the other day because I was like I was like so
You were like losing your fake chips.
I was losing so many fake chips, right? So I'm like, I need these chips. Anyways, dude, I've been playing like heads up.
You're gonna wreck now.
Heads up matches nonstop for the last couple days. I'm hooked.
Okay, you want to know the
I don't think I'm gonna wreck either. I don't know. I'm still like iffy about my abilities.
You want to know the truth of it is?
Yeah.
I've always been good at poker because of like just like having like I feel like I know you. Do you know what I mean? And when I play with buddies, I'm like, okay. Like I feel like I don't actually know the odds and numbers. I'm actually shit at Hold'em. I like sometimes I don't even know when I was playing against you.
Yeah.
I rarely looked at the hands you had when I won.
You were thinking what I would do.
Just trying to think what you would do.
Fuck.
Right? And so I
gotta switch up my game plan.
Yeah,
or something.
exactly. I'm bad at poker, but I'm good at
reading people
and being unpredictable.
Yeah.
I have 2 wins in the 3 nights we've played, and I'm fucking shit. And I never play. I haven't played for like 2 years. It's really just about the people. So when I have a good hand and this and that, like I don't really know what. I don't think like, oh, he's probably got an ace or he's probably got this. I'm just like, this guy bets when he has a pair, man. This guy, you know what I mean? Like, I see you push like this and that. I have high pair.
I think that's one thing that I've picked up from just playing a bunch of these heads up rounds. I like it for a couple of reasons because it's quick. It's back and forth. It's like it gives you a good sense of like how to read other players. And I guess it's just good practice like for those situations when they come around. But
we'll see tonight.
Like you can really get a sense of who the person is and how they bet.
Yeah.
Just based off of a couple of hands.
Exactly.
And you kind of get your senses of like what to do, like
I'm
when
very
to bet,
readable.
how to like get people in. Yeah.
I'm extremely readable because I don't know what I'm doing. But also funny thing is, so yeah, I've won 2 games. They're only $10 games, and there's like 6 people, so you win like technically like what, $50.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm up 100, and I'm down maybe 30, right? So let's say I'm up 70. So Robbie and I live in the same house, and a lot of times to play poker together, you need to have a VPN.
Yeah.
So the first day I was like, oh, I'll figure out a VPN. Like I'll just get one. I couldn't find a free VPN. So,
dude, it's an extension on Chrome.
Oh, okay. But I mean, like in PokerStars, you need an install VPN because PokerStars is on the desktop.
Okay.
So I signed up for some VPN, and it was like in 7 days it's going to charge you $90 unless you cancel the subscription. I forgot, so I'm actually down $20 because I got a $90 yearly subscription of fucking like NordVPN or like
that's why.
What is it? It's
guy never responds to one poker message. He was so keen to be like 100% into tonight. He wants to win again.
Yeah, I gotta fucking
to make up for his.
I gotta dig myself out of this VPN hole. So still 2 wins and I'm still down, baby.
Fuck, 0 wins. I'm fully down.
Yeah. What's 0 wins look like? Like how much are you down?
I don't know, probably $60.
Okay. So I'm at even.
Maybe more. No, $70 because it's like $30 the first week. Yeah, I'm down $70.
So it's like it's like I lost that heads up. If it makes you feel better.
Yeah.
But I did kick into your room and like
I know
throw it in your face.
It was like fuck. Like it wasn't even the money I cared about. It was losing to you after being up that I cared about even more.
So what we can check in next weekend.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it'll be funny, but remember how I joked like that I was a rapper? I only say that because like one night I came home like from the bars drunk, and I just went on my computer and made a rap.
Yeah.
And it was I just made it instantly. Like I found I pirated some beat, so like I don't own the beat, and I rapped over it. And I forget how it goes, but I'll put it at the end of this pod.
Okay. Yeah.
That'll be the song at the end of this pod. White Flame. And it's like, got a little money from my pop, spent it on a Glock.
Yeah.
Got a little girlie
it,
from the block. It's totally a joke. I've never. Actually, funny enough, I could technically buy a Glock. I do have my licenses.
Mm.
I own gun.
Yeah.
Singular. I own gun.
To be continued.
Yeah, I'll put the rap in at the end. If anyone severely disagrees with what we have to say about everything in the early part of the thing, just message me.
I think that's the most important message of it all, is that dialogue is good.
I don't
Encourage
know.
dialogue. Yeah.
Just fucking be like, yo, Trav, we're buds. You're retarded.
Yeah.
Can I say retarded?
No, I don't think you can.
Yo,
So,
Trav, you're mentally and what is it? You're mentally and something.
yeah, you could just say, Trav, you're stupid. You don't understand.
Yeah, you're right, but we figured out what the right politically correct term
I don't know
was.
what it is.
Developmentally and something. We figured this out like 40, 50, 60 episodes ago.
I don't know. Anyways, let's wrap it up though.
It's hot. It's been an hour.
Yep.
And that's been another
All the
episode of
above.
Too Many Jams. Enjoy the rap. And we'll see you next Tuesday. Easy.
I'm heading downtown on a Saturday with the boys that I met back in the day. And everybody's gonna know your name. When you're popping up, it's all the same. Got a little money from my pop, spend it on a Glock. Got a little girlie from the block. Got my new slide swing, cause I'm showing them new tats. Cause that's just how I trap, boy. And you soundin' kinda whack, boy. Gonna go and get the smack, boy. Where's my money, where's my rack, boy? This ain't playing this Iraq, boy. Hit 'em once with the gunner, slap. Hit 'em twice for the stunners, blah blah. And then we hit that bow like a running back. I ain't coming back, though. I ain't never coming back. Said, 1, 2 Lambos like I'm rolling. Got the twins in the back like I'm Dolan. Didn't make the NHL cause of my steez. I didn't want your girl because of all of her disease. Oh, I heard your new girl was clean, so I hit her from the back and then I brought her to the team. I'm heading downtown on a Saturday with the boys that I met back in the day. Everybody's gonna know your name. When you're popping up, it's all the same. Got a little money from my pop, spend it on a Glock. Got a little girlie from the block. Got my new slide swing, cause I'm showing them new tats. Cause that's just how I trap, boy. And you soundin' kinda whack, boy. Gonna go and get the smack, boy. Where's my money, where's my rack, boy? This ain't playing this Iraq, boy. 2, 3 million, now I'm on the track. Got enough of white girls, now I'm going black. Ooh, going crazy, that's a heart attack. White drizzy, cause I'm gonna go back to back. Pour one drink for the lovers, trip. Someone told me you was undercover, slip, slip. Got the new wave like I'm Kelly Slater. If you in the way, man, you just a hater. Yeah, you just a hater. So I'ma see you later. Yeah, I'ma see you later. I'ma see you in the back, cause you know I got the slaps. I'm trapped, I ain't never going back. And I'm heading downtown on a Saturday with the boys that I met back in the day. Everybody's gonna know your name. When you're popping up, it's all the same. Got a little money from my pop, spend it on a Glock. Got a little girlie from the block. Got my new slide swing, cause I'm showing them new tats. Cause that's just how I trap, boy. And you soundin' kinda whack, boy. Gonna go and get the smack, boy. Where's my money, where's my rack, boy? This ain't playing.